Prince Andrew has reached a settlement in principle with a woman who's accused him of sexually assaulting her when she was a teenager. Virginia Giuffre had filed a civil claim against the Duke of York, claiming he sexually assaulted her on 3 occasions when she was 17, allegations he has repeatedly denied. Let's get more on this. Lucia Osborne-Crowley joins me now. She is a journalist and legal researcher. Thanks so much for joining me tonight, Lucia. First of all, were you surprised by all of this, surprised by this settlement?
I am surprised, actually. I was very shocked when I saw it come through on the court docket. We have heard from David Boies, Virginia's lawyer, just in the last few weeks that she is not willing to accept a financial settlement. So I wasn't expecting this. But having said that, you know, I think it's very, very important to make very clear that this is not just a financial settlement, because we do have those couple of paragraphs that were filed with the court where Prince Andrew says he acknowledges that Virginia Giuffre is an established victim of abuse. He also says he knows that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked countless girls and that he applauds Virginia Giuffre's bravery and all survivors for coming forward. So that's not the kind of language you'd expect to see in a settlement like this. I imagine she fought very hard for it, and I think you know, that paragraph is very meaningful.
So interestingly, at the beginning of the year, Virginia Giuffre said the only time she would accept a settlement is if there is an admission of guilt. So what do we know about the settlement? What more do we know about what was said? You pointed out a few things.
Yes, so this is very interesting, the wording we've got here. As you said, Virginia Giuffre has been clear that what she wants is accountability and that what she wants is an admission of guilt. This is not that. It's certainly not a straightforward admission of guilt, but it's also not what you would expect to see in these settlements, which is very clear language that says this is not an admission of guilt. This is somewhere in between. Yeah. In this language, Prince Andrew is admitting that this abuse happened. It's very carefully worded, so it doesn't admit that Prince Andrew was personally involved, but it does acknowledge that this sexual abuse did take place, at least in terms of Jeffrey Epstein, and that Virginia Roberts was sexually abused. So it's very interesting legal language. It's very unusual. It's kind of sitting in that middle ground between an admission of and a non-admission of guilt. So it's certainly more than I would expect in a settlement. And I think this is what would have tipped the scales for Virginia Giuffre, because you know, this kind of statement from him is important.
And Lucia, briefly, if you can, what does this mean about the legal case? Is that it? Is it over? Has it ended as a result of this?
I think so, yes. So the most likely scenario is that this will draw everything to a close. There will be a few things that need to be, you know, kind of I's dotted and T's crossed. But essentially this will bring the case to a close. But I think that word countless in the settlement, that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked countless girls, is significant, because I think that's a signal that's now in a legal document that this story isn't over. And I think the legal ramifications of this story aren't over, even if it looks like Prince Andrew's involvement is over.
It is such fascinating stuff. Lucia Osborne-Crowley, so good talking to you. Thank you.